Hey, Drop Tech fans! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some exciting leaks and rumors surrounding Samsung's highly anticipated Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. If you're as eager as we are to see what Samsung has in store, make sure to stick around for all the details. In the past few weeks, there's been a lot of buzz about the upcoming Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. Thanks to a series of leaks, we now have a clearer picture of what to expect from this device. Unlike earlier reports, it seems that this version will exclusively feature an Exynos chip. Specifically, Samsung is opting for an underclocked variant known as the Exynos 2400E. This might raise some eyebrows, but there's more to the story. One of the most exciting aspects of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition is the memory upgrade. According to a well-known
Exynos 2400 called the Exynos 2400E.
12 GB of RAM. This is the same amount of RAM found in the standard Galaxy S24, which means it should handle AI-powered features with ease. Imagine all that processing power working to make your smartphone experience even smoother. However, it's not all sunshine and roses. While the RAM boost is impressive, the Fan Edition might miss out on some of the premium features like enhanced cameras, wireless charging, and other quality-of-life improvements. It's a bit of a trade-off, but considering the Fan Edition is a more budget-friendly option, it's somewhat understandable. It's also worth noting that this information comes from a single source, and earlier reports didn't mention any memory upgrades for this model. However, Samsung has faced criticism in the past for skimping on RAM in their devices. This could indicate a shift in their strategy, especially as AI-powered apps continue to demand more memory. Offering 12 GB of RAM in the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition might be Samsung's way of addressing these concerns. This memory upgrade ties in with another rumor that suggests the entire Galaxy S25 series might start with 12 GB of RAM, with the Galaxy S25 Ultra possibly reaching up to 16 GB. It's clear that Samsung is gearing up for the future, especially with the growing demands of AI and machine learning applications. Now, let's talk about availability. While Samsung doesn't always release all its smartphones in the USA, it looks like the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition will make its way there. A new, unannounced Samsung smartphone with the model number SMS721U has been spotted in the Bluetooth SIG database, according to Manu One Mobiles. This model number seems to be the carrier-locked variant of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition for the US market. For comparison, the model number for the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition's carrier-locked variant in the US was SMS711U. Although the Bluetooth certification document doesn't reveal much about its features, the US version is expected to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, offering 5G connectivity, Wi-Fi 6E, and Bluetooth 5.3. These specs ensure that the Fan Edition will be up to par with other flagship devices. Samsung's newest Fan Edition phone is making headlines, and we're here to break down all the details for you. So, let's dive in. The Galaxy S24 Fan Edition has recently shown up on a popular benchmark test, and it's packing Samsung's Exynos 2400 chip. This confirms that Samsung is sticking with its own Exynos chip for the Fan Edition in its home market. Last year, Samsung used older Exynos and Snapdragon chips from the Galaxy S22 series for the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition, which made fans nervous about outdated hardware. But fear not. The recent benchmark test confirms that the S24 Fan Edition will feature the same Exynos 2400 chip as the Galaxy S24 and S24 Plus. Samsung didn't release a new flagship Exynos chip in 2023, making the Exynos 2400 the obvious choice for the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. This helps ensure that the Fan Edition maintains strong performance, aligning it with the main S24 series. So, when can we expect the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition to drop? According to Eek News, Samsung plans to launch it in October 2024, with the Galaxy S16 slated for December 2024. This timeline matches last year's release of the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition, which also launched in October. We've got almost all the details on the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition thanks to a major leak. The phone is set to feature the latest Exynos processor, a brighter display, and enhanced Galaxy AI capabilities. Press renders from Android headlines reveal the phone's design and color options, which include blue, graphite, mint, silver, and yellow. The design is similar to the Galaxy S24, with flat front and rear glass panels, flat aluminum sides, and rounded corners. However, the S24 Fan Edition will have slightly thicker bezels, especially around the chin. The Galaxy S24 Fan Edition will boast a 6.7-inch OLED display with full HD+ resolution, a smooth 120Hz refresh rate, and peak brightness up to 1900 nits. The display will be shielded by Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, and the phone will have an IP67 rating, making it resistant to dust and water. When it comes to cameras, the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition will have a 10-megapixel front camera, a 50-megapixel main rear camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and an 8-megapixel telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom. This versatile camera setup is sure to deliver excellent photography results. Performance-wise, the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition is expected to feature the Exynos 2400 processor in most regions, with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip possibly for the US version. Although exact RAM and storage details aren't confirmed, it's likely to offer 12 GB of RAM and either 256 GB or 512 GB of storage. The phone will come with a 4565 mAh battery, which Samsung claims can provide up to 78 hours of audio playback and 29 hours of video playback on a single charge. The Galaxy S24 Fan Edition will also feature stereo speakers, an under-display fingerprint sensor, 5G connectivity, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, NFC, and a USB Type-C port. It will support 25-watt fast wired charging, wireless charging, and reverse wireless charging. Pricing for the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition might start at around $649 in the US. 24 Fan Edition. If you're a Samsung fan, you won't want to miss this update. Let's dive right in. It's been over 6 months since Samsung launched the Galaxy S24, and now, all eyes are on the upcoming Fan Edition. If you're wondering when you can get your hands on it, we've got some juicy details. Just a few days ago, we got a sneak peek at the design and features of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition, thanks to some leaks. But that's not all. We also have an idea of when it might be released. According to a recent report from IT News, Samsung is gearing up to launch the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition in October 2024. And if you're curious about the Galaxy S16, that's set to follow in December 2024. This timeline is pretty similar to last year when the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition dropped on October 4th. However, there was a bit of a delay for our friends in Europe, where the S23 Fan Edition didn't land until early 2024. So, we'll have to wait and see if the S24 Fan Edition will roll out in stages too. Now, let's talk about what's powering this new device. The Galaxy S24 Fan Edition has recently shown up again on a popular benchmark test, and this time, it's packing Samsung's own Exynos 2400 chip. The latest test results confirm that in Samsung's home country, the Fan Edition will indeed feature this chip. Samsung has a bit of a history here. For the Galaxy S22 series and the S23 Fan Edition, they used both Exynos and Snapdragon chips, but not the latest ones from the S23 series. Naturally, this has left many fans wondering whether the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition would also be stuck with older chips. Well, we've got some good news. A benchmark test from a few months ago has confirmed that the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition won't be using outdated chips. Instead, it will sport the same Exynos chip found in the Galaxy S24 and Galaxy S24 Plus. This move makes perfect sense, considering Samsung didn't release a flagship Exynos chip in 2023, making the Exynos 2400 the obvious choice. After all, who wants to buy a high-end phone with a 2-year-old chip, right? That would certainly raise some eyebrows. Now, here's a question many of you might be asking. What about the Snapdragon chips? Will the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition have a version with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in some markets, or will it be all Exynos? While the Exynos 2400 is definitely a powerful chip, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is even more impressive. And let's face it, a lot of Samsung fans prefer Galaxy phones with Qualcomm chips. But, as of now, there's no solid evidence of a Snapdragon version for the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. So, we're in a bit of a wait-and-see situation to find out what Samsung has planned for their Fan Edition lineup. If a Snapdragon version does come out, it might only be available in a few select countries, like the US, Canada, and China. But until we hear more, we can only speculate. So, what do you think about the upcoming Galaxy S24 Fan Edition? Are you excited about the Exynos 2400 chip, or are you holding out for a Snapdragon version? Can only mean one thing. Samsung is likely getting ready to unveil the Fan Edition version soon. We've already seen some leaks about the design and features of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition, and now it looks like we might have a potential release date as well. So, let's dive into the details. According to a recent report from IT News, Samsung is planning to launch the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition in October 2024. But that's not all. Shortly after, in December 2024, they're expected to roll out the Galaxy S16 as well. If this timeline sounds familiar, it's because it mirrors last year's schedule. Remember when the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition was released on October 4th? However, it's important to note that the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition didn't make it to Europe until early 2024. So, we might see a similar phased release with the S24 Fan Edition. Now, let's talk about what's under the hood. The Galaxy S24 Fan Edition has recently appeared on a popular benchmark test, and this time it's sporting the Exynos 2400 chip. This latest benchmark confirms that, at least in its home country, this Fan Edition will be powered by Samsung's own Exynos chip. If you've been following Samsung's releases, you know that they've used both Exynos and Snapdragon chips in their Galaxy S22 series and the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition, instead of opting for the latest chips from the Galaxy S23 series. This had some people wondering whether the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition would also end up using older chips. But, here's the good news. A recent benchmark test has confirmed that the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition will not be stuck with outdated chips. Instead, it's going to feature the same Exynos chip found in the Galaxy S24 and Galaxy S24 Plus. So, why did Samsung go with the Exynos 2400 for this model? It actually makes a lot of sense. Samsung didn't release a new flagship Exynos chip in 2023, so the Exynos 2400 is their best bet. Trying to sell a high-end phone with a 2-year-old chip would definitely not sit well with consumers and could attract a lot of criticism. But what about Snapdragon chips? Will the S24 Fan Edition come with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in some markets? While the Exynos 2400 is a solid chip, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is considered even better by many, and a lot of Samsung fans actually prefer Galaxy phones with Qualcomm chips. As of now, there's no confirmed evidence that a Snapdragon version of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition will be available, but if it does happen, it'll probably be released in a few specific regions like the US, Canada, and China. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition so far? Will you be holding out for the Snapdragon version? Or are you happy with the Exynos 2400? A big leak has revealed almost everything about this upcoming smartphone, and we're here to break it all down for you. Let's get into it. First, look and design. The Galaxy S24 Fan Edition is shaping up to be an impressive device. Thanks to a recent leak, we now have our first official look at the phone. It's going to come in 5 sleek colors: blue, graphite, mint, silver, and yellow. The design closely resembles the Galaxy S24, with flat glass panels on both sides, flat aluminum edges, and rounded corners. However, the screen has slightly thicker bezels, especially at the bottom. Display features. The phone sports a 6.7-inch AMOLED display with full HD+ resolution. It offers a super smooth 120Hz refresh rate and can hit a peak brightness of up to 1900 nits, perfect for bright outdoor conditions. The display is protected by Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, making it tough and durable. It's also dust and water resistant, thanks to its IP67 rating. Camera setup. For all you photography enthusiasts, the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition is packed with great camera features. It includes a 10-megapixel front camera for selfies, a 50-megapixel main rear camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and an 8-megapixel telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom. Whether you're snapping close-ups or wide-angle shots, this phone has you covered. Performance and battery life. Under the hood, the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition is expected to be powered by the Exynos 2400 processor in most regions, while the US version might get the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy chip. It's likely to come with 12 GB of RAM and either 256 GB or 512 GB of storage. The battery is a 4565 mAh unit, which Samsung claims can last up to 78 hours of audio playback and 29 hours of video playback on a single charge. Software and additional features. The Galaxy S24 Fan Edition is expected to run on Android 14 with Samsung's One UI 6.1 right out of the box. Samsung is committed to providing at least 4 years of Android OS updates, with the possibility of receiving updates for up to 7 years. Other features include stereo speakers, an under-display fingerprint reader, 5G connectivity, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, NFC, and a USB Type-C port. It also supports 25W fast wired charging, wireless charging, and reverse wireless charging. Expected pricing. Last year, Samsung increased the price of the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition, and we might see a similar pricing strategy with the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. It's expected to be priced around $649 in the US. And that's a wrap on everything we know so this screfar about the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. What do you think about the new features and design? Samsung has officially confirmed that the S24 FE is on its way. We've been hearing rumors about the Galaxy S24 FE for a while now, but it's great to finally have solid confirmation from the company itself. Samsung has even listed the S24 FE on their official website, so get ready for the launch. We've spotted a support page for SMS721B, the international variant of the Galaxy S24 FE, on Samsung's official website for France. As you can see, it looks like the South Korean tech giant has officially confirmed the existence of the Galaxy S24 FE. Since the support page for the phone is now live, it seems like the phone will be hitting the market soon. However, the support page doesn't provide any additional information. Thankfully, previous leaks have already given us some details about the device. For those who don't know, we also have the confirmed colors of the S24 FE. According to Ross Young, the colors will include gray, light blue, light green, and yellow. The leaked Galaxy S24 FE renders gave us a glimpse of the light green color. Do not expect a Snapdragon chipset in this device. Previous reports have indicated that the Galaxy S24 FE will be powered by the Exynos 2400 chipset, which is the same chipset used for certain variants of the Galaxy S24 and Galaxy S24 Plus this year. You might be wondering, what makes the S24 FE different from the S24, and why does Samsung even release this model? Well, I've got a comparison to clear that up. The S24, S24 Plus, and S24 FE all share the same chipset and a very similar camera setup. The main differences lie in the front and telephoto cameras, where the S24 FE is slightly less advanced. The display sizes vary too. The S24 is more compact, while the S24 FE and S24 Plus are larger. The S24 Plus also boasts a higher display resolution and the battery capacities differ across the three models. When you consider the cost, the S24 FE starts to make sense. It's basically a more budget-friendly version of the S24 with a larger screen and longer battery life. The S23 FE originally started at $600, but with the price increases we've seen in the S series this year, I'd guess the S24 FE will likely start at around $650 or $700. From Samsung, make sure to stick around until the end. Samsung is bringing back the Fan Edition series with the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. Although they skipped releasing a Galaxy S22 Fan Edition, it seems like they're committed to continuing this popular lineup. For those who might be new to this, the Fan Edition series offers a more budget-friendly version of Samsung's flagship models, while still packing in a lot of premium features. Samsung doesn't always release all its smartphones in the US, but it looks like the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition will definitely be available there. A new, unannounced Samsung smartphone with the model number SMS721EU has popped up in the Bluetooth SIG database. Based on this model number, it seems to be the carrier-locked variant of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition for the US market. For comparison, the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition's carrier-locked variant in the US had the model number SMS711U. Although the Bluetooth certification for the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition doesn't reveal much about its features, there's some speculation based on previous models. The US version is expected to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, which would mean it'll support 5G, Wi-Fi 6E, and Bluetooth 5.3. Meanwhile, the global version is likely to come with the Exynos 2400 chip, the same one used in the global variants of the Galaxy S24 and S24 Plus. According to reports, Samsung is planning to launch the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition in October 2024, with the Galaxy S16 expected to follow in December 2024. This timeline is similar to last year when the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition was released in October, though it didn't reach Europe until early 2024. So, we'll have to wait and see if the S24 Fan Edition will also have a staggered release across different regions. The Galaxy S24 Fan Edition has also been spotted in a well-known benchmark test, and this time it's shown up with the Exynos 2400 chip inside. This latest test confirms that in its home country, Samsung will be using its own chip for the Fan Edition model. Fans have been curious if Samsung would stick with older chips like they did with the S23 Fan Edition, but it looks like they're moving forward with the newer technology this time around. And that's a wrap on everything we know so far about the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. If you're as eager as we are to see what Samsung has in store, make sure to stick around for all the details. In the past few weeks, there's been a lot of buzz about the upcoming Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. Thanks to a series of leaks, we now have a clearer picture of what to expect from this device. Unlike earlier reports, it seems that this version will exclusively feature an Exynos chip. Specifically, Samsung is opting for an underclocked variant known as the Exynos 2400E. This might raise some eyebrows, but there's more to the story. One of the most exciting aspects of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition is the memory upgrade. Bytes of RAM. This is the same amount of RAM found in the standard Galaxy S24, which means it should handle AI-powered features with ease. Imagine all that processing power working to make your smartphone experience even smoother. However, it's not all sunshine and roses. While the RAM boost is impressive, the Fan Edition might miss out on some of the premium features like enhanced cameras, wireless charging, and other quality-of-life improvements. It's a bit of a trade-off, but considering the Fan Edition is a more budget-friendly option, it's somewhat understandable. It's also worth noting that this information comes from a single source, and earlier reports didn't mention any memory upgrades for this model. However, Samsung has faced criticism in the past for skimping on RAM in their devices. This could indicate a shift in their strategy, especially as AI-powered apps continue to demand more memory. Offering 12 GB of RAM in the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition might be Samsung's way of addressing these concerns. This memory upgrade ties in with another rumor that suggests the entire Galaxy S25 series might start with 12 GB of RAM, with the Galaxy S25 Ultra possibly reaching up to 16 GB. It's clear that Samsung is gearing up for the future, especially with the growing demands of AI and machine learning applications. Now, let's talk about availability. While Samsung doesn't always release all its smartphones in the USA, It looks like the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition will make its way there. A new, unannounced Samsung smartphone with the model number SMS721U has been spotted in the Bluetooth SIG database, according to Manu One Mobiles. This model number seems to be the carrier-locked variant of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition for the US market. For comparison, the model number for the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition's carrier-locked variant in the US was SMS711U. Although the Bluetooth certification document doesn't reveal much about its features, the US version is expected to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, offering 5G connectivity, Wi-Fi 6E, and Bluetooth 5.3. These specs ensure that the Fan Edition will be up to par with other flagship devices.
The new Galaxy S24 Fan Edition is here to change that. Let's see if it can strike the perfect balance between price and features. We recently got a sneak peek at the S24 Fan Edition thanks to some leaked images from David at Sleeks7. These images reveal a bold new square design similar to the S24 series, giving the phone a modern and sleek look. The back of the phone keeps it simple with a triple-lens camera and a flashlight, emphasizing Samsung's focus on both style and functionality. The front of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition has noticeable borders around the screen, with a thicker one at the bottom. It also features a punch-hole front camera and an ear speaker at the top. The new model measures 162.06 millimeters in height, 77.36 millimeters in width, and 8.05 millimeters in thickness. Compared to the previous model, it's slightly longer, wider, and thinner. This shows Samsung's effort to improve the design while keeping it comfortable and stylish. People are curious about the AI features in the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. Given Samsung's reputation for excellent AI technology, it's expected that the S24 Fan Edition will include some exciting new features. Samsung plans to release the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition in the fall of 2024, but there are rumors it might be delayed to early 2025. This uncertainty has fans even more eager to get their hands on the new phone. The latest news reveals the color options for the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. The main color will be black, which isn't surprising since it's very popular. Other colors will include gray, light blue, light green, and yellow. Are you excited for the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition? Images. Samsung usually launches the Fan Edition of its Galaxy S flagship phones later in the year. As we get closer to that time, more news and rumors are popping up about the upcoming Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. The latest buzz is about the color choices Samsung will offer. Can you guess the main color? It's black, which isn't too surprising since black is a popular choice for phones. Samsung is expected to produce most Galaxy S24 Fan Edition units in black. But don't worry, there will be other colors too, like gray, light blue, light green, and yellow. Background switches to leaked images of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition in light green color. Last month, some leaked images showed the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition in a light green color. These images also revealed that the phone has slimmer bezels and a larger 6.65-inch display compared to the previous model. However, don't expect the Snapdragon chipset in this device. Reports suggest that the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition will use the Exynos 2400 chipset, the same one used in some versions of the Galaxy S24 and S24 Plus this year. The phone will come with 12 GB of RAM, run on Android 14, and feature a 50MP main camera, a 12MP ultra-wide camera, and an 8/10MP telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom. Background changes to a calendar with highlighted dates and a question mark. There's no official launch date yet, but the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition is expected to come out either late this year or early next year. Recently, we got our first look at the design of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition, thanks to leaked CAD render images from OnLeaks and GizNext. These images show that Samsung has made the bezels thinner compared to the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition. The Galaxy S24 Fan Edition measures 162.77.3 x 8 millimeters. Due to its thinner bezels and slightly larger body, Samsung has been able to include a bigger screen measuring 6.65 inches diagonally, up from the 6.4-inch screen on the Galaxy S23 Fan Edition. Background switches to a 3D render of the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition, rotating to show all angles. If these renders are accurate, the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition will feature a triple camera setup on the back flat metal sides and a USB Type-C port at the bottom. The power and volume buttons will be on the right side of the phone. Overall, the design is similar to the Galaxy S24 and S24 Plus, but with a thicker bottom bezel. Background returns to the sleek tech-themed backdrop with a call-to-action overlay. Are you excited about the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribing to the channel would be greatly appreciated. That's it for today. What are your thoughts on the Galaxy S24 Fan Edition? Let me know in the comments section below. As always, see you in the next video. Peace out.